welcomes you to my class. Now today we will start with the poem If. It is written by Joseph Rudyard Kipling. Now before starting the poem, I would like you to give a short introduction of the poet also. Let's start with the introduction of the poet. So in the book you have been given Rudyard Kipling, but his full name is Joseph Rudyard Kipling. So here we are learning the poem If, which is written by Joseph Rudyard Kipling. He was born in December, right? He was born on 30th of December 1865 in India, Mumbai. So basically we can say that this writer is of Indian origin, right? So he was born in India. So it is a matter of proud also, we can say that we had such a good writer in our India, right? There are many writers who have written tremendous books, who have written tremendous novels, poems, many things, and they are gems of India. So we can say that Joseph Rudyard Kipling is also among them. He is also known as a short story writer. So short stories are often, it is you can say enjoyed by many readers. Like there are many readers who like long stories, but he is also known as a short story writer. And basically, if I say this writer had an interest in fiction. Okay, so he have written many stories which have that fiction material in it. Okay, many stories. So he was also a journalist, he was a poet and a novelist. So he have written many poems as well as many novels also. He have played a role of journalist also, right? His works of fiction include The Jungle Book, Kim, the poem we are going to start with If, and also short stories like The Man Who Would Be King. So these are the works of Joseph Rudyard Kipling. I hope you will enjoy the poem. Let's start with the poem in the next session. So students, I hope you have understood the introduction of the poet. Now let's start with the poem, okay? So I am starting with the first stanza. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. So students, here the poet have given the starting itself as a condition. Here he have used this word if. In the sense he is giving you the condition that if, suppose, right? You can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. So here the poet is saying no matter what the situation is, if you just keep your head, here this keep your head acts as an idiom, right? It means that you have to be patient. So here the poet is saying that no matter what the situation is, if you are calm, if you are peaceful, right, then you are the man of virtue. And sorry, if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. No matter if people are blaming it on you, no matter if people are saying anything for you, in this world, or if I say students, in life, you will meet 80% of people who speak all, you can say false thing, or rumors are spread by them, right? But in that situation, if you don't speak anything, if you keep calm, if you keep peaceful, that matters a lot. Why? Because there are some person who are born to speak against you, but without taking that into mind or without giving those persons your attention, if you keep calm and peaceful, that is your perfect quality. Here the poet have started with if. That just imagine if there is any condition or if there is any situation, if this happens, you should be like this. Moving towards the poem again. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. So here again the poet is saying that if you trust yourself, if you trust the words which has been spoken by you, and if you don't doubt on your words, then it is very good. But here in this line, the poet is also warning you. Why he is warning you? He is saying, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. Prayer is warning you, no matter what. If the people are doubting on you, let them doubt on you. But there is also a need to keep a allowance. Okay, if you keep an allowance for those people, it will be very good for you. Why? Because suppose if I give you a situation, I'll just take an example on myself only. Now if I give you an example, suppose if I say, my god, I'm going to top the UPSC prelims, I'm going to top UPSC prelims, and people are just doubting, oh my god, how is she how she will top UPSC prelims. And if I'm just bluffing out, oh, I will top, I will top, I will top, are you sure, or am I sure whether I will do it or not? This is the first question, right? The second question is, if I am giving them the doubt, let it be, let the person doubt on me. I know what my quality is. If I have decided, if I have that power, if I have worked very hard for it, that doesn't matters to me. Why? But here I am keeping it safe. What I am keeping it safe, that I am keeping a allowance to the people's doubt. I am giving them the opportunity to doubt on me, because it is very necessary. Because if you don't doubt, or if you don't give the allowance also, people will not they will just take you as granted. If they doubt on you, and then if they doubt, suppose I gave you my example, and if they say, oh my god, how she will top the UPSC prelims, or how she will clear the UPSC prelims, and this doubt is what their negativity towards me, they are showing what they are showing their negativity towards me. But if the result come, and on that day if I really clear that prelim, then what is their negativity? Their negativity will definitely turn into shock. Why? Because I have given this allowance to them to doubt on me. So I hope this is clear to you. The poet here is saying, but make allowance for their doubting too, it is very necessary. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies. So here the poet is saying, you have to wait. You know what? Patience is really very, you can say, a strenuous activity. I can say that. But if you deal with that activity, if you deal with that activity very nicely, then it will definitely give you a very good and fruitful result. Why it will give you a very fruitful result? Because patience counts. It do counts. So here I would like to say again that the poet is saying you that if you can wait and not be tired of by waiting, you wait for the result. Let the people do what? Do spread your rumors, or do any complaint, or do anything what they want to do. It is often said that let your silence make the sound, right? It is often said that. So here the poet is trying to say this to you. You don't bother, you don't give attention to the people's humor, whatever they are spreading for you. But you wait. You wait for that opportunity. You wait for that particular moment where you can say the people, or where you can challenge the people. Yeah, you were telling all these things for me. Now see, I have given you the result. So wait for that result. Here the poet is telling you that if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies. Let the people lie about you. There are so many people, there are so many people who will give you different kinds of assumptions, that oh my god, she is doing that, it means she is wrong. Oh my god, she is wearing that, it means she is wearing wrong. Oh my god, she told that she will go there. No, I don't think so, she will go there, but she will go there. So this shows the mentality of the people around you. But if you are a person of virtue, if you have a very good quality, if you are very good by your heart, and if you really believes in your willpower and your hard work, definitely God will help you. God always help themselves, the people who help themselves, right? So here you have to trust yourself, the poet is saying, right? Let the people lie for you, no matter what they are lying for you. But you don't speak any kind of lie, nor you for yourself, and neither for the people. Don't lie for yourself, and do not even lie for the people around you, right? So the concluding lines, or being hated and don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. So here he is saying, fine, people are like that. Let the people hate you, but you don't hate the people. This is their quality, that they are hating you. This is what they are doing. They are showing the negativity. God is looking at them. but you don't show that negativity. What you do, you spread that positivity, you spread the positivity of fragrance in the environment with your virtue, with your hard work, with your good qualities. This is what the poet is trying to tell you. And in the concluding line he is saying, and yet don't look too good, not talk too wise. Here the poem is saying that you should not look too good. Why? Because I say you, this is world, and this is the rule of the world that if you look very good, people will judge you in a very different manner. Don't give that opportunity to the people to judge you how they are judging you. Don't give that opportunity to them. Wear decent clothes, be very common, be very simple. A simple person with high virtues. The poet is trying to say you should always be a simple person with high virtues. So, and yet don't look too good, not talk too wise. Don't talk too wise. It means that suppose if I say, I give you an example, there is a discussion going on politics. Okay, so there are so many people, no, you who give different kinds of opinions. No, he's like that. No, he's like that. She's like that. She's doing that. You forget about them. And you are not supposed to talk too wise to the people. Why? Because if you show this quality, people will again judge you in a very wrong manner. So, I hope this stanza is clear to you. And I really hope that you understood the stanza. So, I hope that these lines are worth lines. I should say that these lines are the worth lines. Here the poet, he is not requesting his readers, but I, as a reader, what I think is he is giving the opportunity to the readers to meet God by your goodwill, by your hard work. This is what? This is a connectivity. The poet is trying to establish a connection between your willpower, your hard work, your good quality and God. This is what a person should be like, right? I hope you enjoyed the session. Make dreams your master. If you can think and not make thoughts your aim. Such beautiful lines are here, right? If you can dream, if you can dream and not make dreams your master. It is very good to dream, very good to dream, but it is not mandatory to make those dreams your master. Don't make your dream your master. Suppose if I say, I am dreaming for IS. Are you sure? Me dreaming will definitely make me an IS officer? No. What will make me an IS officer? My willpower, my hard work, right? These two main things will make me what? An IS officer. But if I say, oh my God, I'm just dreaming, I'm dreaming, only my dreams will come true. It won't happen. It will never happen. In my previous stanza explanation, I explained you that let your silence make noise. Now here, let your silence make noise means what? Basically, it is a phrase that work hard in silence and let your success make noise. Right? So I have just excluded work hard and I have excluded success and I have included what? Let your silence make noise. It means that you should be quiet, remain quiet, silently do your work and let the result show what exactly you did. But it will only happen with your willpower when you keep your head very calm and peaceful. So here the poet is saying dream. There is no obligation on dreaming. No obligation. Dream how much ever you want to dream. But make sure whatever you dream should be fruitful to you, should be fruitful for you. And make sure whatever you are dreaming, you will do hard work to gain or to achieve that dream, right? If you can think and not make thoughts your aim, thinking is not bad, but overthinking is bad. Suppose if I am thinking something, but do you really think my thoughts will be my aim? No. Think about your aim, dream about your aim, but do hard work to achieve that particular aim. So here the poet is saying that you can think aim, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, right? If you can meet with triumph, this word triumph means victory. So if you can meet with triumph and disasters and treat those two imposters just the same, it is very difficult. Here it is a very challenging thing the poet is telling you, that see, victory is loved by everyone. It is praised by everyone. But defeat, anybody of you love defeat? Not even me. But here the poet is saying, don't do that. This is the quality which will decline your personal quality of high moral values. Treat victory and disaster, that is defeat, as same only. Once if you develop this quality in you, you are the masters of your patience, isn't it? The poet here have given a very good explanation of life in these two lines, that a person should be enhanced in his quality of what? Of taking and balancing the things to what exactly they are. When you are like winning something, or when you attain that victory point, you are very happy. You are top on the world. But when you lose something, when you encounter the defeat, you will not eat food first. Your mood will ruin like anything. There will be so many mood swings. And that particular time, you will lose your willpower. You will lose that quality. So does it really means life? No. In this life, you will get 80% of negative things, that is disasters, and 20% of positive thing, that is victory. Mix it up. To make 100%, you have to mix it up. 80 plus 20 is 100, right? So here the poet is saying, no matter what, if you are just encountering the defeat part also, don't worry. Try keeping your head calm and try to manage the balance between the victory as well as the disaster, right? And when you attain that quality of managing or balancing these two imposters, you are the man of virtue. Here the poet says so, right? If you can bear to hear the truth you have spoken, twisted by knaves. Here this word knaves means dishonest people. Okay? To make a trap for fools. If you trust your words, nobody can defeat you in this world. You should have that willpower to trust your word. No matter what the dishonest people are saying for you. But if you attain that quality, if you have that quality in you of what? Of trusting your own words, trusting your own self, then there is no human being born in this world, in this entire world, who can defeat you. Why? Because if you trust yourself, you trust what? You trust God. And that is the link very strong. Nobody can break that link. That chain is the supernatural chain. A positive supernatural chain between you and God. So this link cannot be broken. The poet is saying, if you trust your words, let anybody speak anything for you. Let the knaves complain for you or speak anything for you. But at that particular moment, when the knaves are speaking or complaining for you or speaking negative for you, at that moment you should be calm and peaceful, right? Or watch the things you gave your life to broken and stop and build them up with worn out tools. Now these two lines are also very important. A person does so many things, right? Suppose I say there is a person who wants to build a house. Suppose Mr. X, okay? Now this Mr. X is, he is, he's doing what? He is joining all his hopes, all his courage, all his hard earned money, penny, penny, penny. He just save his penny, 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 and he makes that money. With that money, he makes that house. And what will happen on that person when a naturally calamity, or you can say a natural calamity like earthquake occurs? Isn't it a disaster for that person, that Mr. X? It will be. It will be, because he has saved his hard-earned money to build walls, to build the house which he dreamt for, his dream house. But suddenly what happens? A earthquake comes and his house just shatters. It shatters into pieces. What that Mr. X will do? He will weep, he will cry, pain, agony will surround him. But do you think this won't happen? This will happen. This will happen. But students, here the poet is saying, no matter what, if that Mr. X have that willpower to build his house again, nobody can stop him. Yes, no matter what the people say in written. Obviously, it also can happen that by doing so, he won't get that opportunities which he got in the previous time to build his home in the first time, right? But in the second time, he may encounter so many failures also. But these failures will be the lesson for him, right? So a person should always be or should be like a person of good moral values, high moral values, good willpower, high willpower. A person should always have the quality of trusting himself, because once if you don't trust yourself, nobody can make you trust yourself. So it is very important for you to trust yourself. So in this stanza the poet is saying, no matter what the situation it is, if you have to build up again also what you are dreaming, if you lost, forget it, dream of building it again. And once when you dream of building it again, you will definitely meet the triumph, the victory. So I hope it is clear to you. Thank you for listening me. Thank you and have a nice day.